This week's topic is going to be the top wrestling entrance themes of all time. It's going to be the same format we did last week, except instead of doing a 6-pack, there's no possible fucking way we could narrow it down to 6. So we're going to double down this week. We're going to do the top 12 wrestling entrance theme of all time. And even that was a pain in the ass to narrow it down.
I had to cut so many good ones.
Right. So what we did, me and John both picked 6, and much like last week, we're going to throw out each and every one of our picks, discuss them, and then debate them where they should go on the list, ranking from number 12 to number 1, and by the end we'll have the ultimate, the all-ever conclusive list of the best theme songs of all time, because our opinion is the only one that matters.
Yes.
But just how we kind of qualified these is, first of all, we're not allowing any licensed themes. It has to be either all original theme or one that was based off an original theme, or one that like a band came in and did specifically for the wrestler. So no like Voodoo Child, unfortunately. As great of a theme as it was, we can't really count it because it wasn't written to be a wrestling. I mean, we could probably do a whole nother list on just the best licensed themes of all time, but they're not going to be on this one. And how we're going to rank these is we're not just going to focus on how good of a song it was, because there are a lot you could put on this list that were great songs for wrestlers but weren't great entrance themes. And we're also kind of going to consider how much the song did for the character, how much it helped in getting them over, and also just that the crowd pop effect as well. Like when that theme hits, like does the crowd pop? Does it help get the wrestler over? So all of that is going to kind of be taken into consideration as we discuss these. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start off first here with one of John's picks. He has a lot of good picks on here, but his first pick we are going to discuss is as follows. All right, and that, of course, is the theme song for The Brood.
Oh, yeah.
Gangrel and Edge and Christian. So, John, discuss this a little bit. Why do you think this should go on the list?
Okay, well, it's obviously really badass.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And it has, like, the little slow intro, like the creepy vampire noises, or whatever you want to call it, and then just, like, it kicks in all of a sudden, and it like has a sweet beat, and it just and like like they'd be coming up from the fire. Everyone would be like into it. It was like mesmerizing almost. They come up from the fire with their cool sunglasses, and then just like even like them, you could like they looked like they were into the song too. Like on the way down, they'd be like kind of like bouncing down the ramp.
And this song, it wasn't even so much just. I mean, this song is a great theme song. Don't get me wrong, but it was just it was the whole production of it with the flames and the strobe lights and the red lights and it was just made these guys seem so cool. And like you got to think back when they were using this song, Edge and Christian were not nearly the big deal that they are today. This was them first coming into the company, and it to me, this is what got them over. Like it just, I mean,
because it was so different.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like it was just fucking cool. Like I remember, like they were pretty much on every single episode of Shotgun Saturday Night.
Yeah, the Brood weren't a really big deal.
No,
but their entrance made them seem like they were.
Exactly, and just aside from how awesome of a song it is, like it's still used. Like I think the New Jersey Devils still use it as their entrance theme at hockey games, at home games today. I mean, so it's definitely got staying power.
This is like a wrestling song, like I can like listen to just like while I'm like driving or something.
Right, exactly.
Like that,
It's just it's just so creepy and weird, and it rocks. The whole entrance production was just so fucking cool, and it got them over. Like, really, this is what got them over.
It had to be a big, people still talk about it. It is a really highly regarded theme song.
Yeah,
still.
Exactly. And I mean,
I think it's the best one.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it up in the top 3 personally, just because there's so much good stuff. But I think,
of course,
it definitely has to be pretty high on the list, just based on the fact that it turned 3 guys who were pretty much unknown at the time.
Yeah, they were all new.
And kind of really helped elevate them. You know, the Brood was never a big thing, in the company.
I kind of wish they were, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this song it should have been around longer.
Still,
it's such a shame.
Yeah, but at the same time, people remember them today. I mean, how many guys, how many casual wrestling fans from back then that don't really watch today are going to, remember a whole lot more from, like, the lower undercard, back then. But people still remember the Brood. You talk to people that watched wrestling back then, haven't watched it for a decade, and they'll tell you, yeah, the Brood, they were fucking awesome. Just and a big reason
they won't even pay attention to, like, their wins or losses or anything.
Right.
Just like they'd remember them, and that's what's
and
good.
With like Gangrel standing on the steps with the fucking goblet of blood and spewing it with the lights and the music. It was so cool. And
oh my god, this takes me back.
Right. But I can't imagine that gimmick wouldn't have gotten over as much as it did with a different theme song. I mean,
yeah.
It was just so brilliantly composed, and I don't know. I loved it. I think it's a great pick. From 1 to 12, where would you like to see it go?
Number 1.
Number 1. All right. Well, I'm going to say number 5. So we'll split the difference there. We'll put it right in at number 3 then on the list. So we start out strong. We already got a top 3 pick in the first song. I'm going to play my next one kind of in the same vein as the one you just picked. Obviously, you're going to recognize it instantly. Here's my first pick to this episode of the Edge to Play 6-pack. That's actually 12. So obviously that is Kane's theme.
Mm-hmm.
Kane 2002 up to I think about 2010 he used that one.
Is it This Fire Burns? Is that what it's called? No, Slow Chemical.
Yeah,
right?
Slow Chemical.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Finger 11 version. I don't know, you could have put his original theme on this. I actually
did have that on my list, but I cut it.
Yeah.
I completely spaced for some reason.
I just loved this version so much. I really liked a lot of those ones that they did around this period where they brought in some more mainstream bands and kind of had them write new songs
based on
the Jim Johnston originals. I mean, obviously one that I considered was the Our Lady Peace, the one they did for Chris Benoit, also an excellent theme. But this is the one that was memorable to me the most. I think probably just because Kane was just one of my absolute favorites back then.
Oh, same here. Kane was like my top 2 guys. Yeah. And this is right when he unmasked, right?
No, this was right before that. This was I think like 2002 when he first came back.
Mm-hmm. Then
when he came back from injury with the half mask and it was awesome. And this theme song, like his original was great, but I still prefer this to any of the themes he's ever had. It's just they did such a good job. Finger 11 did with using the motif that Jim Johnston had wrote for the original song and making it into like a cool rock song. Like
yeah. Okay, well, I bought like don't judge me, but a long time ago, I for some reason bought like the soundtrack for The Punisher.
Oh yeah,
I was just like listening to it and like as I was driving back and like all of a sudden that song came on. It's on it. Did you know that?
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. No, yeah, it is just like a cool. It's a song like I would listen to even if it wasn't like a wrestling theme.
Yeah, exactly. It was with all these other heavy like
it's
rock.
Really
songs.
Brooding and just really. It just has such a cool vibe to it and really works with with Kane's entrance. Of course,
It sounds all demonic.
Yeah, the big pyro at the beginning going right into that guitar riff. I think they did a really good job. You look back and like I think this one was on. I don't know if it was on the original edition of Forcible Entry, that big compilation they put out, but it was on one of the editions. And
wait, Forcible Entry?
Yeah. This one wasn't. I think it was on.
It wasn't on that one.
I think it was on like the second print they did, if I remember. The one I had didn't have it, but I don't know. Regardless, this was definitely one of the best of those bunch. There was a lot of songs on that album that were kind of shit, but this definitely. I don't know. This to me,
yeah, right. Because I mean, what other song? Like there was like updated ones of like Raven and.
Yeah, that one in particular was pretty good.
No, yeah,
not super memorable, but like there was some like.
Fuck, I wish I have it somewhere.
There was like
have it. There was a No Chance, but it was
by Dope. Yeah, that one was kind of shit. But I don't know this.
Oh, the Jericho one. Oh my god.
Oh my god, was that the Saliva one?
No, it was Seven Dust.
Oh god, that's right. That was so bad.
Awful. So yeah, like Kane, it could have ended up really bad, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not like a Finger 11 fan. I
don't know
name
what the fuck
one other song. I know they're kind of a bigger band, but like I couldn't name another song, so it's not like me being a fanboy of the band. Because if I were to go to like a concert, I'd be like, play Kane's theme. Woo!
Andy's actually wearing a Finger 11 shirt right now.
That's not true. I'm actually wearing a Periodic Table of Elements shirt. But yeah, I don't know. I loved this theme. I still wish. It's definitely a million times better than the one they had after this, where it's like that goofy like Disney movie sounding version of his theme.
Oh yeah,
that one
what
sucked.
The fuck was that all about?
His new one now, where they kind of mix that with his original theme, is pretty good. I do like the one he uses now, but still, I think this is the best out of the bunch. I don't want to put it terribly high. I think there is a lot of good stuff that we have yet to get to, so I'm going to shoot right for... I think I'm just going to put this right at the bottom of the list. Nothing against the song. It's a great song. It made top 12 of all time, but I think it's a good way to start off the list right there at number 12. There's a lot of good stuff yet to come, so if that works for you, we'll put it right in there. Number 12 spot for Slow Chemical.
Works for me.
All right. So 2 picks in. We have got at number 12 the Finger 11 theme, Slow Chemical for Kane, and all the way down at number 3, The Brood. So we will just move right on from there. I'm going to pull up John's next pick into the browser here. Here's what John had for his second pick.
Ding. Oh my gosh. I cannot like say enough about it. I mean, you said how like if the songs can help like enhance a character, then it's you know, that's like what they shoot for, you know?
Yeah.
I think it totally worked. That's Sting's Crow theme, like when he had his betrayed gimmick.
Yep.
Backstory on that. NWO is in full effect. WCW, and they have a Sting imposter. Sting's a face paint wearing guy. They have another guy come in, and so like the locker room starts to doubt Sting, and he's like, "Fuck you guys, then. You don't trust me. No one trusts me," and goes on his own. And then he's in the rafters all year long and everything, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? What's he doing? What's he gonna do?" You know, like who, like. And like this is the song he has when he comes back, and I think it's perfect. It's really mysterious. It just I don't know, it draws you in. I love the dramatic build. Like, if you listen further, it starts like picking up. And
it kind of takes a while to pick up, but like once this percussion starts coming in, it gets just it seems like something like from like a really epic like battle scene in a movie, you know. Like it's so good. It's very very macabre, very very dark, but I mean that's kind of what his character.
Perfect for him,
right?
Absolutely perfect, and it's still talked about today too.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the exception to the rule as far as WCW themes go, because I think one thing WCW did absolutely horribly was their entrance themes. Like they were either like just really shitty generic rock riffs or like really shitty parodies of 90s rock songs.
Yeah, there was like DDP had like Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. Which actually wasn't bad.
I didn't, that was it.
But like still it was just like a parody of a famous song, or like Jericho's was The Even Flow by Pearl Jam basically.
I think Benoit had like an Aerosmith one. I think he had like Back in the Saddle. Or I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, which in my picks, none of mine were WCW. You got a couple. I think you got pretty much all the good ones. But yeah, that was just, and even like that. I think watching back on WCW now, like that's where I think they had like the fireworks and the pyro and stuff, but like a part of production they really missed was their entrance themes. Like, and a lot of them you can like barely hear it. And I think that's just such an important part of a wrestler's character. Like I said with the Brood, like if you have an awesome entrance theme, that can get you over. Mm-hmm. But they really, I don't know, WCW did a shit job of doing that.
And you know, like the entrance combined with the theme song, Things was perfect. Mm-hmm. He comes out. I know as Titantron, it had like really like a pale sky and like dead trees, and there's like a crow and like shit like that. It was so good.
Yeah, and then like him, like when he'd come down from the rafters with this song, it was just such a sight to see. It was so over the top and just but so cool. Like you couldn't help but get behind him. So yeah, I think this is a damn good pick. I would love to see him return with this someday. I think that would be like one of my all-time I lose my shit moments. So I don't know, where do you see this going on the list?
It pretty fucking high. This is my number 2, like behind the Brood.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we got to keep those 1 and 2 spots open. I think we've got some really heavy hitters coming up.
It was below the Brood on my list.
Yeah.
Like you're going from the top of mine.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, since you're thinking right behind the Brood and just the fact that we've got a lot of other stuff, we'll put it right in the middle of the list here at number 6. I think that's a good spot for it.
Either way, like this is a pretty good like elite list.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
being in the top
it's not
half.
a knock to be in the middle.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to put
of our 12-pack.
Yep, the Adjective Play 12-pack. We're going to put Sting smack dab right in the middle at number 6. So here I'm going to introduce my next pick then. All right, that, of course, I'm sure you're all shocked by this one. Daniel Bryan's current theme. And it is not just because it's Daniel Bryan's theme. He had like a laundry list of shit themes that they gave him before this. I think his first one was just like this generic rock riff. And then he went with the original orchestral recording of this song, and it was funny, but I
remember I marked out so
yeah, like I liked it. I thought it was funny, but overall, like it wasn't doing him any favors in terms of getting over. And then they gave him like the theme song from Night of Champions 2010. Like this, it was like kind of like in the same vein, but it was a little more like I don't know. It was dumb. But then they gave him this gem, and I think it is the perfect thing for his character.
Is this an updated one of?
Yeah.
Richard Wagner.
Yeah, exactly. It was the Ride of the Valkyries, but obviously way more up tempo. And I think
which was necessary. You needed to like get the crowd.
And it has like this the tremolo, the orchestral tremolo at the beginning, the like I think it's not quite glass shattering, but it's still like it has that impact.
And it gets the crowd like really into it. They love him, and then like they get to yes along like
exactly.
To the song.
And I think it was. Yes. I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that once he got this theme, his career really started taking off. I mean, obviously a lot of that was getting pushed into the world heavyweight title picture, but I think this helped too. Like,
oh, totally.
Like if you have honestly, to me, if you give somebody a generic theme, the crowd is going to perceive them as a generic persona. And like I said, his original themes didn't do him any favors at all, and they were just horrible. But I just love this theme. They could have put this on anybody, and I would have thought it was an awesome theme. So it's not just because I'm just a huge Daniel Bryan mark, which I am,
but it works with him too.
Yeah,
like this song, because it's just like a redone version of
right,
Flight of the Valkyries. And so it shows like his dorky side to him too.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like it keeps that element of his character, but at the same time it makes it seem really awesome, So I really liked it. It was the only modern theme for like a current wrestler that we actually have on this list. And I think that speaks volumes. I mean, there are obviously other good themes. I mean, Cult of Personality is great, but obviously can't include it in this list. For like I said, or not including licensed themes, but I don't know this. I mean, you could kind of argue that this isn't a totally original theme, but I think it changes the original Wagner song enough. Like, obviously, this is so much different from the original rendition to where I think it does qualify. It is based on an old classical piece, but at the same time, it's just so much different, and it's energetic, and it just goes so well with Yes Chance and his, really high octane, really athletic offense. I think it is the perfect musical representation of Daniel Bryan. I've got to give credit to Jim Johnston for this one, because this
better than the Final Countdown.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's like an independent, like that gets over on the indie scene. But if he were to like have that song now, people would kind of be like.
Dude,
what?
Did you know he used like that 180 song, like My Obsession, like on the indies? That was one of his themes too. I think he just has a thing for really dorky songs.
And that's fine. And that's what I kind of like about this. It is really dorky, but at the same time, like what they did to it actually makes it really cool. And I don't know. I love this theme. I'm actually going to shoot pretty high on this one. I mean, I know some people might want to see it lower just because it's a modern theme, but you know what? I think it's one of the best themes that they've ever had, and so I'm looking at. I think that 5 spot looks good for it. What do you think?
I don't know.
I mean, we do have a lot coming up, but
it's hard to like put them in places.
It really
where
is.
Everything's like on the
right,
but I suppose. It obviously it gets them more pumped up than Stings does.
I think
Stings it's a slow song.
Yeah,
but, I mean it was perfect for his character.
But I think just everything about this song was done so perfectly. Just the energy.
All right,
like how well the crowd gets into it, how well it fits the character. I think it's got to go pretty high. So we're gonna put it right there at number 5. So far we have Kane. His Slow Chemical theme by Finger 11 at number 12. At number 6, Sting's Crow theme. At 5, Daniel Bryan with Flight of the Valkyries. And at number 3, the Brood theme. So on to your next pick.
course, the legendary Four Horsemen.
Great pick. Absolutely fantastic pick.
I love it.
Yeah, it's such a unique theme song too. I mean, there's really not another one like this that you can really pick. I love the really kind of like cheesy like Steve Stevens 80s like lead guitar line. Like the horse sound effect. It's just awesome. Like I don't know, it really complements, just how legendary the Four Horsemen are well.
Do you think like that's like the sound they were going for?
I do. Like I don't know, did they must have started using this in WCW. I don't think they had
I believe so. I know for a fact like the incarnation that had like Benoit and Malenko in it, they came out to this.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, way back in the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, way back then, I don't even think they really did entrance themes back then.
Besides Flair.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, like, Flair and Hogan that started that whole thing.
And the Freebird shit.
Right.
But, yeah. I don't know. I think it's a very unique song, though.
It is, and that's why I think it, not only because of who's associated with it. I mean, obviously, the Four Horsemen.
And it has that older sound to it.
Yeah,
too,
and I do like that.
And because I mean the Horsemen, like this is like during like I mean the NWO is out and everything,
right.
and like they're the new cool people and everything, and then you have like this throwback stable, with this really epic sounding song, that just like enhances.
They actually make a very good point there. It sounds like a throwback theme. It sounds like something they could have absolutely like used during the 70s had they had a theme music, during the 70s and the 80s. And it really lent well to the whole
credibility.
Yeah, prestige and credibility surrounding the Four Horsemen. It had that real throwback, real 1980s action movie,
And don't even get me started on the hoofs at the beginning.
Yeah, like how good is that?
That's perfect.
Yeah, like I said, I think that really is what separates a good theme from a great theme. Is like those intro sound effects. Of course, there's one coming up later that's the most legendary of them all. But that the sound effects are like just the one note that like. Within like 2 seconds, you can tell whose theme it is, even if the song hasn't started. But like, there's just that one moment of
you hear the horses running.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh shit, here come the horsemen,
right? Exactly.
And then,
that one thing that really garners like a quality reaction. I think that has that here. The galloping. It's just so eerie, and it's like something cool is going to happen. Yeah. God damn, this is
whoever thought of that or whoever wrote that. It's a genius, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is hands down one of the best themes ever, and not just because it's associated with one of
greatness.
if not the best stable of all time. The song stands out on its own. This is a case of like, this song happened, this song was created well after the Four Horsemen like rose to prominence, like, and I think that says a lot about it, that it can still make this list, even though it wasn't part of, why they got over at all. Like by the time this song came along, Four Horsemen were already
it might have helped like Benoit and Malenko.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. Like,
because I mean. Benoit had been in the Horsemen longer than Malenko, but he still had trouble finding his place.
Yeah.
Among them and everything. And I don't know, like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. No, but you make a good point, and I think that is definitely something to consider. It's time to put this thing on the list. I'm going to go ahead, throw it right at number 2. I think I want to keep that number 1 spot open for one of mine I have coming. But I think it definitely deserves to be right up there in the conversation for the top pick. But
I agree.
Just based on what's coming, I can't quite put it at the number 1 spot. So we will throw it right in there at the number 2 spot. So we've got 2 of the top 3 down. Of course, the Brood at number 3. At number 2, the Four Horsemen. Sting and Daniel Bryan. At number 6 and number 5, respectively, and Kane right at the top of the list there at number 12. And now here is my next pick. That, of course, is the theme song to the Evolution stable. And I think if I were strictly making this list just based on how good of a song it is, I would probably put this at number 1 for me. It's just such a kick-ass song.
I love it.
I mean,
I love the lyrics.
I love Motorhead, first of all. So I'm going to be a little partial to anything with them in it. I fucking worship that band.
It's funny. We just went from the Horsemen to Evolution.
Right, yeah. I didn't even think about that. I totally planned it that way. I mean, 'cause I'm a
the master planner.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a master producer. That's what I do. No, but this song, I don't, and this isn't because of the characters it was associated to. I didn't watch wrestling when Evolution was around. So I really
don't lie. You picked it because you're the biggest Triple H mark of all time.
You got me on that one. No, but I actually did. I had to choose between this one and The Game, which says a lot about it because I fucking hate Triple H. But his theme song undoubtedly kicks a shit ton of ass.
And it works for him too.
No, it
everyone
does.
knows Motorhead's Triple H's favorite
and it has
band.
that very reactionary element to it. That just those first dun dun dun. We're not going to talk about that. It's not on the list, but it was considered in the interest of discretion. But I just think the guitar riff of this song is so epic. It's just a 4-chord progression, but it's just Motorhead doing what they do best, taking something simple and making it fucking awesome. And I really like how that for their WWE themes, Motorhead they're really an up-tempo, really kind of punk rock kind of metal band. But for their WWE things, it showed the more the sludgier side of, their musicianship. And I loved it. This just fit so well for this stable, and it just made them seem like a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had that big sound to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always a sucker for just cranking the distortion up to 11 and just playing some dirty ass guitar riffs. I will go for that every day.
And if it fit with Triple H's character too,
right.
Going from The Game, Triple H is a big Motorhead fan.
Yeah.
So it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And it was already identifiable with them, just, based on Lemmy and, because he already had The Game before that.
Yep. I love this theme so much. Like I said, I didn't even watch wrestling at this time, so I'm not, this isn't just nostalgia talking. It's just, I love this song. I think it's just one of the most brilliant entrance themes ever created. And a song, much like the Kane one, that if it were just some song that Motorhead had put on one of their albums, I would still love it. And that's really hard to do, to strike that balance between a good rock song and a good wrestling entrance theme, because we've seen songs that were great themes, but if they were, on a rock record, would not be great. And we've also seen songs that were horrible rock songs on their own, but great entrance themes. I mean, look at Limp Bizkit, Rollin'.
Yeah.
Terrible song, absolutely awful song. You'd never listen to it.
Chocolate Starfish.
Yeah. But as a wrestling theme, it was great. I love it as a wrestling theme.
Yeah,
but
no, it worked.
Motorhead
completely.
struck such a good balance. This could have been a single on one of their records, but at the same time, it's still one of the best wrestling entrance themes of all time. Gotta love Motorhead. Anyways, let's put this on the list. I love the song. I think it's a great song, but I don't want to go too high with this one. I'm thinking right there, kind of at the number 10 spot would be a good place for it. I think, like I said, it's a great song, but just the nature of this list, there's so much other good stuff that we could, put above it, that I think the number 10 spot would be a good place for it. What do you think?
Yeah. Like you said, there's a lot of great stuff on here, so it's hard to place it. All
right. Well, it is settled then. At the number 10 spot is Line in the Sand by Motorhead, the theme song for Evolution. On to the next pick then. John's next pick is as follows.
X Factor. Kidding.
I quit the show.
I had to go with Gold Dust. This is
phenomenal.
This was, I mean, it was a given as soon as like you came to me with the idea for entrance themes. It's perfect for him, really. Like, you know, you get like the creepy little intro to it before it kicks in again, you know, and it just worked for Gold Dust's bizarre character. It's such a strange sounding song, and then like, I mean, if you like listen further, there's like that weird like little like spacey part in it, you know, and Gold Dust's character, that's what he was. He was completely like out of this world, pretty much. There had never been anything like him before that. It works, and his entrance is great. The song totally enhanced it, you know, like you were just drawn in, like looking at this freak, you know.
Yeah, I think this kind of is like The Brood in a lot of ways. Like, it was a great song, but there was also a lot of other elements of his entrance combined with the theme that made it great. And I mean, I'm talking like the gold lighting and the you know, before
the rain or whatever. I mean the little like things falling from the ceiling.
Yeah, and before, of course, you know, before there were widescreen TVs, they did like the letterbox to kind of make it look like a movie.
Yeah, his movie
and
character.
They did like the frame rate slowdown. This is getting like super like nerdy and technical, but but
that's why it's great.
Yeah,
really.
but like how they.
I forgot about the slowdown.
Yeah, because movies are recorded. I mean, at least back then, that they're recorded at a slightly slower frame rate. There's 24 frames per second as opposed to television, which is 29.996 frames per second. It was just such a little touch that they did, but it like made that entrance so great. And
Goldust's character was he was obsessed with film.
Yeah,
exactly, know? And sex and gay stuff.
Yeah, and they just,
I don't know, like he'd come out there with like his robes and like, you know, trying to look like a movie star and the Titantron like 24 karat pictures
productions. And I do like how you picked a lot more of like kind of the orchestral ones that, you know, I am a huge sucker for just fucking guitar distortion and yelling. Like that's what I'm into. But like I do like.
I didn't even plan it this way.
Yeah, no, but you kind of brought a whole different perspective to it and a lot of kind of different things. Like, not to say these are great themes, like just ones I wouldn't have probably thought of as top 12. But I do absolutely agree with you on this one. It was just, it's such a phenomenal composition too. You know, just looking at it from a pure musical perspective, I think everything about this entrance theme was done so well, and I don't know, I love it. I love the Gold Dust character, very bizarre, very creepy.
That's what I always love it whenever he like comes back after in between his firings.
Yeah, all 18 of them.
Just because I know I can hear this song, right. And that's also why I get super pissed when they give him like a jobber entrance.
Right?
I'm like, fuck that! I wanted to hear it.
Now in the ring, Gold Dust. But yeah, I think in this theme too, one of the reasons it's so good that it was so just crafted specifically for this character. Had this theme gone to anybody else, it wouldn't even be in the discussion. But it was crafted so well to this character that it works, which is why I think it absolutely should be on this list. I'm not thinking too high. I mean, we've only got a few spots on the list left that are real high. I want to throw it. Let's see, what else do we got coming here? We're kind of winding down here. We don't have a ton left, but I don't know. I guess looking at what we had left, I'd say let's put it right in at 8. I think that way we leave 3 spots open for what's coming up.
I'm down with that.
But yeah, I think number 8 is a good spot for it. So there you have it. The Gold Dust theme at number 8. On to the next selection.
Dead man walking. You've done it now. You've done and made a big mistake. And I can't allow you to think you can just walk away. So turn around and face the piper you're gonna pay. 'Cause the end is now. This is gonna be your judgment day. A cheap shot. That's the way
That is my personal number one favorite entrance theme of all time. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's got to go on the list. It kicks so much ass. Just
Right?
just that opening with just the kick and the snare and the hi-hat with the Dead Man Walking voice sample. Oh my god, the first time I heard
And they
that,
had
I
the
was
gong
like,
too.
fuck, yes, yeah, and just the bluesy riff heavy. I mean, this is
It was a good blend of his characters.
if they were to come to me and say, "Hey, write an entrance theme for a guy that rides a motorcycle and kicks ass," that it would have sounded a lot like that. You know, it's such a brilliant theme. It's so simple, but it just works so well. I'm more partial to the instrumental one with just the guitar solo over it because they had two different versions. There was this one, and then there was. This one's You're Gonna Pay. The other one was Dead Man Walking. But I'm going to kind of throw them all. This is basically the same song. But he did use one for a little while that was just a guitar solo over it, which I prefer that one. But they're both great. If you couldn't tell already, I love Big Evil Undertaker. It is my favorite wrestling gimmick ever. Pretty much every countdown we do is going to include him on some way because I'm such a total geek for Biker Taker. But my bias aside, I still think it is a great theme song.
Oh, of course. I love it. I've always had a thing for this song.
Right, and it's just, I mean, some of the lyrics are kind of dumb. Like, there's ones like, badasses always kicking assholes' ass. It's like, what?
Wait, what is it?
It's badasses always kicking assholes' asses. I mean, it's dumb, but like, whatever. Like, it's a wrestling theme,
God.
you know? I fucking loved it. And it just,
I had no idea that was actually lyric.
right. And I mean, like I mentioned when we were talking before about Roland, I thought that was a good theme, but
This one was so much better.
was the perfect theme for this character. Like the absolute perfect theme. It was so much more menacing. And I just, with the kick in the hi-hat and snare intro and then him just rolling out on the motorcycle and chewing tobacco and fucking choke slamming somebody's ass through the mat. It's just, god damn it. I want this back. I think the gimmick aside, the gimmick was already great without it. I mean, they had a Limp Bizkit song and the character was still over and really good, which says a lot about it. If you can throw Limp Bizkit over a character and still have the crowd like them, I think that is a testament to how good it is. But at the same time, this took it to a whole new level. This fit the character so much better. And like, this is a song, like when I'm driving in the car, I'll throw on routinely because it's such a fun, just groovy rock, just bluesy song. I love it. But I don't know. I could spend like an hour talking about how much I love Biker Taker, but I'll spare you. I'll save that for another episode. I want to put, I'm not going to shoot terribly high for this. Personally, like I said, it's my favorite, but I don't think it's the best. But we've got that number 7 spot open, kind of right in the middle of the list between Goldust and Sting, and I think that's going to be a good spot for it. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right. So we are going to put You're Gonna Pay / Dead Man Walking by The Undertaker. They're at number 7 then. So we have 4 picks left, 8 down, and we have 4 more to go. Still a lot of a lot of big spaces open. Will be John's next selection.
Ken fucking Shamrock, most dangerous man in the world. You hear this song, and you know someone's ass is gonna get kicked.
That's precisely. This song is fucking awesome. Yeah. No, this was one that if you hadn't have picked, I absolutely would have picked. It's just the bells, and this is another one. Like it's just a simple riff, like a guitar riff, but it's so perfect. It sounds like the theme song for an ass whooping, and that's exactly what it needed to be. And just,
yeah, I mean, you couldn't get anything else for someone like Ken Shamrock,
right?
You know?
And the bells. Oh my god, this theme song was fucking brilliant. I loved it. I didn't.
Genius.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of memories of Ken Shamrock. When he was in the company was when I was still very much a WCW guy, but like just going back and watching him, it's like just seeing how crazy and just belligerently insane he was. Like
refusing to let go of ankle lock.
right.
I
Like
love it.
yeah, this theme song was just so perfect for that. Oh my god. There's not a whole lot you can say about it, but
Yeah, I don't got much to say.
it just kicks ass. Like that's just like the song itself. It's not terribly complex. It is what it is. And yeah, I think we've got that number 4 spot open. I want this to go high on the list personally. So, what do you think? Number 4 for Ken Shamrock?
Absolutely.
All right. So, we have left then the number 11 spot, the number 9 spot, and the coveted number 1 spot on the Adjective Play 12 pack. Still open yet. And we've got 3 picks left. Here is my next pick.
Well, break the walls down. It's the big show. Jericho, no one got you. Come on, let's break the walls down. All those about to rock are what you want. Baby, you know you do that, and I'm your priest. Baby, what I done is not from the
Maylene and the motherfucking Sons of Disaster.
Oh, hell yeah.
This, yeah. I mean, this isn't a terribly memorable theme for most people.
No,
I mean,
it's
it
just-
was only used for a couple months. But I think it's just the fact that it combined 2 already great themes, 2 themes that probably could have been
Well-known
included.
themes, too.
Yeah,
And it was a perfect
combined
one.
them so flawlessly the way they did. And I loved Maylene and the Sons of Disaster.
Yeah.
They're terrible now.
They were my favorite band at
Yeah.
one point.
But yeah, just I thought they.
That's funny. I almost picked Chris Jericho's
Oh yeah,
theme,
that was
actually.
one that was definitely on my short list of candidates that unfortunately had to get cut. But I thought this was a good way to make up for it because this is
It's a shame that it was only used for so long.
right.
Same. I mean, with like a lot of these, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
well, like Shamrock was only in like WWF for like a little bit, and like the Brood. Even.
Yeah,
It's a shame.
Right. and
These
yeah,
are timeless
yeah,
themes.
just,
A lot
this
of-
was such. It wasn't like I think the reason I like this so much is because typically when WWE tries to do mashup themes, they're almost always fucking horrible. Like look at the tag team Big Show is in after this with Miz, and it was like, well, awesome, Big Show, I came to. It was so dumb, and like this was one that I mean. I guess I can't really give WWE the credit. I mean, I'm sure they just went to Maylene and said, "Hey, make us a fucking song," and they pumped out this absolutely great gem of a song.
I mean,
but-
I know they're big wrestling fans, so I'm sure
Yeah.
they gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Actually,
Right, and it shows. Like it's just they combine elements of both of their themes so well, and it was just such a rockin' song. I loved it. I liked the Jericho and Big Show tag team. I thought they were entertaining, but
yeah,
I think
you knew this theme wasn't gonna last long in the first place.
yeah, and that is a shame. But for what it was,
That's why it's surprising that they actually got like
Yeah.
a whole new theme for him. And
yeah,
everything.
I mean, especially, you think back, this wasn't even like the tag team that they had planned. It was supposed to be Jericho and Edge got
What
hurt.
could have been?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Yeah, that could be a whole like discussion on its own. But yeah, this, I think as far as, I kind of am a sucker for these themes that are done by actual bands. I've always been of the belief, no disrespect to Jim Johnson or what he does, but I think the show could benefit from more of this kind of stuff. Having like actual bands make theme songs for wrestlers, whether it be based on a Jim Johnson theme and not a band named Downstate, could help. So I really like this when like bigger, kind of more mainstream bands come in and do versions of Superstars themes. Of course, I had the Kane one at the beginning. I really like those. I really like this one. Obviously, not going to be terribly high on the list. I'm going to go right ahead and put it at number 11, right under Kane. It's It's not one of the most memorable for most people, but it's a damn good song. And I think this is one that just kind of skates by on just being a great song. You know, it wasn't incredibly memorable for most people, but it's just such a damn good song. I couldn't leave it off of this list. So I'm just going to put it right there then at 11. We've got Jericho, Crank the Walls Down, the theme by Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, at number 11 on the list. So, comes down to this. 2 picks left. And it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
who these last 2 picks are.
Wait, what 2 spots are open?
We've got number 9 and number 1. So we might need to do some rearranging if it comes to it. But it's just interesting, these last 2 picks, like who it is and kind of like what they represented for each of their companies during their time. And it's just funny that it comes down to both of these guys.
Oh, God.
So here's John's last pick for the Edge to Play 12 pack this week.
Goldberg. Oh my God, this is taking me back.
Yeah. Incredible theme. Incredible
Perfect.
theme.
The build up, the drums, the marching. It's a kind of the same thing with Shamrock. You know, someone's gonna die when he's coming out.
Yeah. And to just this just really epic build-up song with like him like being escorted to the ring by like a fucking legion of security guards,
and then the fog, you know, like, and he would like exhale the smoke or whatever.
Yeah,
like
it's
dragon.
Yeah, this
pyro.
Right. Yeah,
loved it. Perfect.
It was all such a spectacle and just fit Bill Goldberg so well. Just this unstoppable beast of a human being. I think these like orchestral types of songs still can work, and I kind of wish they do more of them instead of just giving. As much as I like the rock themes, I think when everybody has like a generic sounding rock song, it's just not as good. I think they really need to have more of these unique kind of orchestral.
Yeah, because it stands out. I mean,
it does.
Like, you'll hear this and like, you know, instantly it's like synonymous. Like,
yeah, exactly. And it just sounds so triumphant and epic. I don't know. I love this theme. Like I said, I wasn't the huge Goldberg, the biggest Goldberg fan back in the day, but I mean, fuck, he was so over. This theme song was a huge part of it. I mean, I don't know. I love it. I think we might have to do a little bit of rearranging here.
Yeah. You should show me your next one before we like.
All right. Yes. Let's do that. Let's just jump right into the next one then, and then we'll just kind of debate them together. I saved this one for last. Obviously, my heavy hitter. I think a lot of people probably know what's coming. So I will play my pick, and then we'll debate where we're going to put both of these. That's right. We did not forget Stone Cold this week. And correcting previous wrong from last week, we absolutely did not forget him this week. This is my heavy hitter. This is who I want to see going in number 1. I mean, what is more iconic than the glass shattering? Like,
yeah, I mean, it was the same thing. You knew shit was about to go down.
Yeah, I mean, the song itself, had the glass shattering not been there, wouldn't have been nearly the theme it became.
Well, yeah, you need a good like intro to the song.
And it was just so like it's just so impactful, and every time it hits, sends the crowd into a fucking frenzy. And I mean, it's just the song itself is just so simple. It's just like the most elementary of guitar riffs, and that's fine. It works. It's just so just like kind of just 4 on the floor, just heavy, just it's so good. Like just that combined with the beer drinking and the middle fingers, they couldn't have possibly made anything better for this character.
It was perfect.
Yeah, to me, it is the penultimate, the epitome of wrestling themes. It stands alone atop the mountain. I mean, there have been so many great theme songs throughout the years, but to me, there's nothing that even comes close to how iconic, how over, just how much this song helped create one of the biggest wrestling stars that there ever was.
That's really funny that it came down to Austin and Goldberg.
Right. It is
How the fuck does that happen?
Yeah. I think what we're gonna have to do here is,
I think the Brood can down.
yeah, I think I want to keep the Horsemen at number 2, but I think moving everything else down, putting in Goldberg at number 3 and Stone Cold at number 1 is what I want to see. What do you think?
Yeah. So like Austin, Horseman, Goldberg,
Yeah.
What does the list look like now?
Yeah, so top 3 now under the Brood: Goldberg at number 3, Horseman at number 2, number 1 Stone Cold. I think that's a damn good list. It
was really hard. We had to cut a lot of good ones.
Yeah,
I mean, Ultimate Warrior, DX, Shawn Michaels,
right, and
X Factor.
There was no. There are so many other good ones that
Can we play that as our outro this week?
I think we have to now. It's at least for the outro of this segment. It's got to go on here now. The fucking horrible ass Uncle Kracker theme. But yeah, there are just so many great themes that we've left out, unfortunately, just due to just not having enough room, only having 12 to pick. I mean, fuck. I mean, Mankind's
Richie
theme.
Steamboat.
Fuck yeah, Ricky Steamboat.
No, Richie Steamboat.
Okay. Oh God, I need to play that right now. I need to find this.
For those of you who don't watch NXT,
oh my God, it is the worst thing.
It's the.
I nearly lost my mind just laughing at how terrible this theme was. Let's see. I think this is it.
Hope you can find it.
It's the lamest shit I've ever heard. This for like the son of a Hall of Famer and a good son of a Hall.
Pumped up?
Yeah.
I want to work out.
This should be fucking. I want to see like the Dennis Stamp video, like with this like over it. Yeah, this is like the lamest shit ever.
No, Ricky had the like Alan Parsons Project song.
That's right.
That was fucking
awesome
great.
Too. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously can't include that on this list, but yeah, there's just so much good stuff that we couldn't get to. I just want to just talk a little bit about some of the worst themes ever. And there are certainly a lot for this too. I mean, you of course mentioned the big one. I mean, this is like the reverse Stone Cold Steve Austin of themes. Fucking Uncle Kracker's theme. I guess we couldn't really consider that. I mean, it was a song that already existed outside of wrestling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't.
What? A song called X Factor?
No, it wasn't. I don't remember what. The X Factor, the X Factor wasn't actually a part of the song.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was an actual song they made thinking it would be like a radio hit. And then it became the theme song for the Attitude Era 3MB. It was just horrible. Like, nothing killed a crowd like Uncle Kracker's terrible music. I mean, what are some other, like, one that comes to mind is that fucking Insane Clown Posse Oddities theme.
Yeah.
I mean, just awful. I mean, there's got to be some today even. I'm struggling to think of some off the top of my head.
Fucking hate Dolph Ziggler's song.
Yeah, I actually liked the one he had before the one he has now. I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, at least for a downstate song. I think it could be worse. Definitely not one of the better ones in the company right now. Oh, here's one. I just... Every time this comes on, I just want to I'd rather gargle a mouthful of kerosene and nails, quite honestly.
I want to fall on my ear again, but actually lose it this time.
But this right here.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
It's so dumb. I just... What does that even mean? I love... And just his fucking
Hear this shit?
goofy smile. I hate Zack Ryder. Anyways, we are going to end the discussion there. If
Thank God. I
that
don't
just
know how much
completely
worse it
killed the
can get.
mood. I don't want to watch wrestling anymore. But yes, so that is it for the Adjective Play Special Edition 12-pack this week. The top 12 entrance themes of all time. At number 12, we had Kane's theme, the Finger 11 theme, Slow Chemical, starting off the list. At number 11, Crank the Walls Down by the once great Nailing and the Sons of Disaster. Their theme they did for the team of Chris Jericho and the Big Show. At number 10, Evolution, Line in the Sand by Motorhead. At number 9, we had Goldust's theme, a great theme. At number 7, Big Evil, Undertaker, You're Gonna Pay. At number 6, Sting's Crow theme. Number 5, Daniel Bryan, Flight of the Valkyries. At number 4, Ken Shamrock's theme. What was that called again? It was like Unstoppable or something.
Shamrocks?
Or like Break.
I thought it was like Dangerous.
Dangerous, something like that. Whatever it's called. Wait, I'm doing these totally out of order now since we reorganized them. Number 9 was Goldust. Right? Yeah, number 8, Undertaker. Number 7, Sting. Number 6, Daniel Bryan. Number 5, Ken Shamrock. Number 4 is the Brood theme. Number 3, Goldberg. Number 2, Four Horsemen. And the greatest pro wrestling theme song of all time, correcting a previous wrong from last week. We don't forget Stone Cold. We put him at the number 1 spot. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Glass Shatter theme, is number 1 on our list for this week.